Hello everyone, hope you're well. This is CoinsKid, just going to XRP once again. Thank you for your support. Okay, big of the CoinsKid crew. So yesterday the metrics were lining up for me to buy a little bit more of Bitcoin and XRP and Ethereum. So I did accumulate a little bit more yesterday on that dip, and so far I've woke up this morning. It's been a nice little sort of move up for me basically. So what we've got is the LD printed negative yesterday, so that's always a little bit of encouragement for some kind of liquidity coming into the market. When we see the liquidity being withdrawn, basically this going green, which it has been pretty much all week, we do see, you know, some kind of rollover. So I was showing you that the past few days this has been green, but if we can enter this weekend where we see another LD, a negative statement today, you know, come from the LD, then it means more cash will be injected into the market. So I'll look at this as confluence to, you know, my buy and sell zones basically. So equally we've got Bitcoin below 30, the tether dominance above 70, and I've always taught you that, you know, that's an inverse correlation to being oversold and overbought. So once you see this below 30 and that above 70, sorry, that's an increased probability as well that, you know, you should think about buying a bit or longing a bit or whatever you want to do. And then obviously the flip side is when this is above 70 and this is below 30 in the market, the micro market zones is outweighing the rest, you know, the sell zones, which I relayed to you a few weeks ago. That's always a good opportunity to, you know, sell or short or whatever you want to do in this particular market. So again, just pure data. Yesterday, the micro Ethereum greed's in at 20. We've got the buy side outweighing everything else with all the metrics lining up. So, you know, hence the pump. And this is why this morning waking up to a nice little pump. So we'll look at the charts in a moment. But, you know, if we go back in time, you know, look at this guy here. Basically in 2010, July, Itchy posted, I have only 600 Bitcoins, virtually all generated last week. I missed the bus. I'll be buying some soon. I hope you held on to those coins, Itchy, because wow, that'd be worth something today. Now yesterday as well, we did have an inverse correlation playing out once more, and this is something I was waiting for. For example, on the 8th of October, I did relay to the CoinsKid crew, sorry, on the 27th of October, I did relay to the CoinsKid crew, inverse 4-hour trade knocking on the door. Basically, we've got the tether dominance falling into the buy zone and Bitcoin falling into the sell zone. So you've got the inverse. So that means that was going to come in. And then lo and behold, it did. So then if we take a look at yesterday, we've got the inverse playing out again. You've got the tether dominance coming into the sell zone and Bitcoin coming into the buy zone. Look at the tether dominance. Look at that all the way outside on the time frames in the sell zones. And yesterday we're seeing a nice little pump. So again, this is just pure data. So the crypto radar as an inverse correlation, you can look at it with the tether dominance in your coin to see where your coin is. If you see the tether dominance in the sell zone on any time frame and your coin is printing a green buy dot, you know, then it's a buying opportunity. So jump into the radar on CoinsKid.com to follow that. I'm actually going to make something where you can drop your own coin into one radar, so stay tuned for that. It's on my to-do list. So basically yesterday, again, I just tweeted out, I'm following the data. We've got micro buy signals for Bitcoin and obviously Ethereum as well, and a lot of sort of fear in the market. So we'll jump into the charts in a moment, see what we can see. But so far, if XRP and Bitcoin and Ethereum hold this low, then it's a higher low. And like I said to you, from left to right, if we're looking for that reversal, it'll be the opposite of a top pattern, which is a descending triangle. It would be an ascending triangle. So we may be gearing up for a nice move into November and December because of seasonality. And there's one other thing that I've noticed as well. If you take a look at the others D chart, and I'll get it up for you in a moment, we've seen basically since this high here in March of 2024, where Bitcoin and pretty much everything else bar the top 10, bar everything outside the top 10 has been ramping up, but everything outside the top 10 has been rolling over. But it's rolling over to a level of support right now with a monthly bullish divergence. So we do have today's close to confirm that bullish divergence. So I'll show you that on the chart. But this again may be confluence with obviously the Bitcoin dominance chart and seasonality, that we are about to see some kind of move in altcoins under the radar outside the top 10 altcoins. So go through that in today's video review. Okay, let's dive in. Looking at this particular chart, really interesting chart. This is the others, and basically what it is on TradingView. And again, if you've not got TradingView, click the link in the video description and get TradingView. Play with TradingView, have a look at it, get up a ticker, anything, and just move to the left and see, and you know, try and familiarize yourself on all the price structure, because things do repeat, you know, in patterns and things like that. And obviously, like I've taught you, God candle backtest. You know, basically what we've got here, we're looking at this is others.d. So this is really simple. Crypto total market cap excluding the top 10 by dominance. So as you're fully aware, we keep an eye on the Bitcoin dominance on this channel, and so far the Bitcoin dominance is falling under the ribbon on the 5-day time frame. So we'll look at that in today's video. But what we do have is basically this has been coming down as well. Okay, so we've got some kind of ABC here in this particular chart. You've got this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave move up, and some kind of ABC where this is falling back like this. So what we see is a massive buy up just there on others. So again, this is everything outside the top 10. We're seeing some kind of big support just there from that wick that we've seen down. Okay, so it's a monthly time frame, and as you're fully aware, we zoom into the daily, you can clearly see this is that big wick that found support just there. So from there we're going left to right again. So if we zoom out to the monthly, at the moment anyway, if we drop a line on just here, we do see for the time being, if this closes today, we've got 13 hours 45 minutes left. If this closes lower than that, we do have a printed bullish divergence on the monthly time frame, providing the RSI stays in that level as well. And really oversold conditions down here on the, basically your others, which is your altcoins outside of the top 10. So if we look at everything in the top 10, pretty much everything's been pumping in this cycle. Ethereum, Bitcoin, XRP, Tron, Solana, those coins, even BNB, all the top 10 have seen some kind of move, but the others have not. So is this a clue right now that we are about to see that? Because what we're seeing, is a drop in the Bitcoin dominance. We're seeing a bullish divergence potentially print, and again, we have to wait for confirmation where, come November, this might start to turn around like it did here. You're coming down, it's the end of the world, it's going to zero, and then all of a sudden you just turn around and you pump. So possibly, potentially, we're at that, same phase right now where we see a bit of relief here, because we've not seen any kind of relief since this downtrend started. In the others, late 2021, we've not seen any kind of significant move other than this ABC that come back up there into January 2024. So basically what we've got, if we drop the Bitcoin chart in, you can clearly see that Bitcoin from this low here has been trending up, and this has just been trending down. So, Bitcoin in the top 10 have took all liquidity out the market. So that's just a small observation. Perhaps it works out, perhaps it doesn't, but it's just a little data point that I'm relaying to you that, with seasonality potentially kicking in November, we could be in for a nice time with the coins outside of the top 10 that just pump for no reason, but the reason is in the data. Okay, so let's dive into the XRP chart, see what we can see. Quickly before I do dive into the XRP chart with you, there are still opportunities for this potential weekend pump. All you got to do is come to CoinsKid.com, go to the blocks and look down the list. You can clearly see at the moment XRP is in the optimism zone. It's having quite a nice little pump on the micro. You'll see some kind of V-shape. Look at that, nice little move. So basically yesterday, these are all dark green, and then some blocks are quite white and big, which are the opportunity. So on the micro, you can clearly see that Tron's having a nice little reaction as well. So there are still coins that are in extreme fear. For example, this coin here, and we've got a green block just there, which is basically fearful, and this block here as well. So these are the opportunities. If you're looking for long spots or little, basically spot bids, come to the micro and look for your color blocks, okay, for the fear and greed levels on those coins. Let's dive into the XRP chart right now to see what we can see, okay? So taking a look at XRP on a weekly time frame, I would love to jump up and down and say this is the actual chart, guys. This is the one. We've done exactly everything anticipated. We go sideways into the ribbon, we drop into the bottom of the BMS, we find support on the BMS and this God candle back test. Everyone gets shaken out and then we break. Now one thing that is on the side that I did relay this to you last week, you see this candle here, it's called a bullish engulfing candle on the weekly time frame, and then this week we're coming back and we're sort of retesting that bullish candle to confirm. So typically what we look at, within 3 candles you get a confirmation. So this is allowed to break or obviously confirm the confirmation of that candle within 3 candles. So we've got another couple of weeks to go to see if we can hold this candle as support, which confirms, okay, it's a bullish engulfing candle. You come down, you come back up, you're creating a bullish engulfing candle, just like what we did there, and then you confirm it. So within 3 candles, you get that confirmation. If you can maintain the support of this bullish candle for the next couple of weeks where you do something like this, compress, it would confirm, okay, that was the bottom, you got your bullish engulfing candle, you've come up and you got a nice little confirmation statement, just like this bullish engulfing candle. For Bitcoin, XRP, this was a bullish engulfing candle. Within the next 3, you was confirming it because you'd never lost the candle. So this is why I'm saying, please be patient. Okay, I know a lot of people are running for the hills and just selling and things like that, but I think you could be selling to the fear. So I'll look at the data points. So aside from that, if this bullish candle can play out like it did there, and like it did there, and like it did there, fantastic. The data is suggesting that you're selling right now, you're doing it wrong, because you shouldn't have been selling there, you shouldn't have been selling there, and you shouldn't have been selling there effectively, okay, because the data is suggesting that. So this channel is all about data. Equally, one other thing that we've done in this particular chart is we have held the God candle backtest and the bottom of the BMS. Now one thing that would be negative obviously over the next couple of weeks, if we do see the resistance at the top of the BMS and we begin to roll over, take out the beautiful bullish engulfing candle and basically negate it, then okay, XRP's in a world of trouble, and we'll react to that given the data that we're looking at to respect. So far so good. we do actually see bullish data here because you've got higher lows and higher highs for XRP. So potentially we're cutting up in some kind of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 setup, which has been my primary for a very long time, regardless of the nasty wick that we see on many charts. Okay, so I wish everyone most luck. So far it is playing out exactly as anticipated, but I'm looking for the negation of that, and I don't see the negation of it at the moment. So we've come back down, we've got a descending triangle, we've compressed, we've dropped into the bottom of the BMS, everyone's flipped there, but we've got a nice little bullish statement, and currently, as anticipated, we're holding the top of the BMS and the bottom of the BMS. If we negate the data of the bullish engulfing candle and we start to close below that and lose the BMS, okay, you're coming down. And at that point, I'll try and find the buy zones down here for you. But for me to say that right now, given the data I'm looking at, a potential seasonality move and things like that, I'd be talking on my bumhole. I hope you understand that, okay? So I'll just relay the data to you on this channel. So far so good. Let's zoom into the lower time frame, see what we can see for XRP, okay? So looking at XRP on a 4-hourly time frame, at the moment we have found a little bit of support on the God candle back test just there. I'll zoom in a moment, but you know what we've got is a potential compression pattern from left to right, which is essentially an ascending triangle. So off this low here, you come up, high, low, come up, high, low. You're looking to create some kind of ascending triangle on the resistance of this previous descending triangle, which is a bearish reversal pattern. This will become a reversal, basically a bullish reversal pattern. So from left to right, if we get the compression and we hold the BMS, which is coming up, and we break the resistance of the BMS, which is coming down, we'll get some kind of compression, lead to expansion. We may see a nice little move here, a pop for XRP, accompanied with the fact that this time last year, exactly the same time, we're doing something very similar. We came up and we pulled back into November, and then we broke out with that seasonality move as expected, okay? So that is still my primary. I still think it's a potential play here for XRP, but I'm looking for the invalidation. One of the key points will be if we break down below this BMS, and if we don't create this, you know, sort of high-low structure anytime soon, then obviously we've not got an ascending triangle here. We've got some kind of ABC that's coming up, and we've got another drop to the downside for XRP, okay, where potentially 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave setup that we're coming down like this, we find some support, and then, you know, we build positions to come back out later down the line. So again, that is a potential scenario, okay, that we've actually been in some kind of correction since there, and it's took literally a year to bottom, which would be roughly December. So that would be, when was that? That was early December. So it may be a case that November could be bearish, okay, but I'm looking for more data. So from here, if this comes up and we begin to break down below this high-low structure and we start turning the BMS into resistance, then I think we're down here. Where could we go to if that is the case, where, you know, basically for a whole year, we've been going sideways for XRP. We've got some kind of massive WXY correction. That's your W, that's your X, and this is your Y that's finishing off. And what it is, it's a 5-wave move to the downside, where you got some kind of 1 into a 2, into a 3, into a 4, into a final 5th wave down in, you know, December. Everyone thinks you've entered a bear market at this point, but the fact is what you've done is lost this pivot low with this thrust to the downside. This is not an impulsive move. This is part of an ABC correction, a 3-wave move. So you basically had a W into an X, into a Y, and right now you got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 setup that finishes off the correction, and it's been a year-long correction. So that is a possibility, but where could it go to? So the only way you can work that out effectively is using trend-based fib extension. Okay, so what you do from the pivot point here, you go to this low, then you go to this high, and you'll be looking at a 1-to-1 ratio, if not the 1.272 and the 1.618. Okay, now does it go that low? I don't know. Okay, but I will be looking to spot bid at this level here, 181. 1.272 at 150 and the 1618 at 117.6879. So that is a possibility that it's been some kind of W into an X into a Y, and you're finishing off the correction that's took basically a year, and then you turn around in 2026. But like I said to you, the key to that will be the data with Bitcoin, the insights. If we see Bitcoin print red by the end of the year, then I think we're in for a good time in 2026 against all odds and expectations, because it would mean that Bitcoin has equally been in a correction since that point as well. And what we've seen for the entirety of Bitcoin in this particular 2025 move is an A into a B into a C, which is a running flat, which I've relayed to you before. So all eyes on the XRP chart. Even if it dips, I think we're missing a 5th wave, okay? Because obviously this move will not be a 5th wave, it will be a corrective wave. This will be an ABC, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for Bitcoin, and a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for XRP. The correction will be coming to a completion literally a year after it started. Everyone thinks you've entered a bear market, but it'd be an amazing opportunity, and then we rip higher. So that is equally an opportunity, a potential scenario over the next few months. If we don't get this seasonality play, then I think we could be, you know, spot bidding at 181, 150 and 117, and I'll keep you updated as best I can. But the earliest warning shot to that will be if XRP doesn't maintain this ascending triangle right now, and it's doing something like this, and it does something like this and breaks down, then these are my spot zones. This is where I'll be bidding with yourselves, okay? So all eyes on the BMS. Turning into resistance is not a good look for the future, the short-term future for XRP, because it would indicate to me, okay, all of this is a correction, it's a free-wave move up, and this is something I've been looking at as a potential alternative. My primary, unfortunately, for the bears is this, okay? This is still my primary. I think given the data I'm looking at, over the next couple of months, we could be looking at a monster pump here, so I'm looking for an invalidation. Hope you understand the update. Stay off, stay strong, stay tuned. Take care, everyone. Back to another update on XRP. Bye-bye.